Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I have another Marine ECM, another 5.0 Gxi-E Penta, but this time coming from Canada. This is Alan Thomas. This is your computer. So we will follow the same procedure. I'm going to do a test, try to see if I reproduce the customer concerns, which we'll be reading in a second, and then see if we can perform the repairs, right? Hopefully we can help them out. All right, so let me take you over to the customer folder, which let me just pull it out in here. By the way, if you're here and you have not subscribed to the channel, please help me by subscribing on the channel. Every time you do so, YouTube promotes more and more my videos, and you will help my small business a lot. So thank you so much if you do so. Same thing, if you have any marine or automotive computers or instrument clusters, I'm definitely your best call. Just look for the same name as in the channel, Mike Salazar Diagnostics. Just add the .com and you will find me. I will put always my website in the title of the video so you can copy and paste it from there. All right, let's go over to the folder. That is the computer connected and it's already opened. He opened it up and bent all the cover up, but it's full of hair and insects and some other things, but at least it's not damaged. All right, so let me just get you to here. So this is so you guys can see the connections and everything. I mean, you can see the amount of dirt and everything there is in the computer. Fingerprints, hairs, I mean, just name it, is there. Let me just get you to the notes. So let's left duct engine die under about quarter of the throttle. Got restarted and die again, restarted again and run very rough. No more restart after that. Mechanic says it's the ECM. And he also put a little more on here. Pretty much the same about the start and die and then the start and die and then no longer the starting. It said the boat is a 2006 Larson LXI 208 with a Gxi-E Penta 5.0 Gxi-E and a SX drive, and then the numbers of the computer and so on, which I will also show you in the sticker. That's exactly what he has. I'm going to read it just to make sure. The last digits are after the letter A are the ones that are unique. 503-80158. Yep, that's the last digits on the bottom after MEFI4. So A503-80158. So yep, that is the correct part number. The correct, unique number on the computer. All right, let's go back to here. I'm going to get diagram in the screen. And we're going to connect completely from scratch. So let me just get that out of the way. And I'm going to put 1. So you can see in there, the computer is off. So it's on. So let me turn the ignition off. I'm going to turn the ignition back on. So you can see that test light right there is the fuel pump. So I have a relay connected to the driver coming from the computer, which controls the control side of the relay by providing a ground. And then the relay will close a contact. There is a constant battery power for the fuel pump and also for the injectors. So the circuit is working good. All right, when in Diacom Windows base, this is the software you see right there is Windows based. So you can put them in a laptop and everything is really, really good. We're going to select the first one, MEFI 1 to 4. This is a MEFI 4. Okay, it detected the module. We selected mode 1. That's the one I always use for here. And then we close the connection. So we have 4 full codes. We have manifold pressure sensor voltage low, injector A high, injector A low open, injector B low open. All right, so this is concerning mostly, I mean, injectors, not so much, but the manifold pressure sensor is definitely a problem. And the reason I'm saying that is because sensors are direct inputs to the microprocessor. Luckily for him, on these computers, it has some resistors and capacitors in place that might protect the signal in case you get a short to power or a short to ground. Short to ground is not so much a problem because they're protected. Again, to go to ground is not really a problem. But a short to power, especially if it's battery power, it can cook the microprocessor. We have communication, so I doubt that's the case. But it's very important to be careful. I also notice, Alan, in both connectors, corrosion. So you have water intrusion on both of the connectors. So make sure that you clean those connections really well, because otherwise it will get you into trouble. All right, looks like My lens is again out of focus. Give me 1 second. I will see how it goes with that lens. I'm having issues with this lens. I'm trying to use that one because I can do a zoom in there, but it's been losing the focus. It's a Tamron. It's practically brand new. I mean, it's I bought it like, I don't know, 4 years ago, but I have never used it. Maybe a couple of times. We'll see how it goes. All right, so let's go back to this view. So we were selecting the computer. We have those fault codes, and we were talking about the manifold air pressure. So let me select one of the bits so you can see what the manifold is reading, which is showing only three inches of mercury. I also selected another one. Let me see, make sure you can see that one. Yeah. So it's showing only 0.025 volts, which is not true because I'm providing 1.78. And I can show you that in here. I can actually, let me get the meter on the screen, which I can use for that. So right now, you see, which is reading just whatever is on the room. I'm going to touch the manifold right here, the map, which is the reading. And you can see which is around 1.74 and not the 0.25. And I can move, that is this lever that I'm having here. Let me move you over to here. And this is where this lens can help me. Sure. You can see this is where I am connected right now. That is the map. And I'm going to move. The value that we're reading is kind of like a little hard for that camera to pick up where to. But believe me, it says 1.79 in there. So I'm going to change it up. And you can see when I move this knob, it's reading 3.5. But you know that it goes to 0.4. 0.2. So it is reading something because you can see how I go to 0, but it's not changing anything on the actual inches of mercury. The voltage is changing very slightly, and that's why it's not changing, because 0.3 is around 3 inches of mercury. So we need to have like a 1 volt or so for to have something major to change it, because when I go over to 0.5, now it's reading 3.9. If I go down to whatever that is, it's 3. So it is definitely reading, but not the correct voltage. So something happened inside this computer that has damaged that circuit. All right, so let me get back into the correct zoom. And let's get back to this view. I'm going to put the oscilloscope. In the oscilloscope, I have 3 channels. The blue and the red, are in injectors. The reading you see right on the bottom is for one of the injector, or the injector A bank. And then the green channel is the coil activation if it runs. Let me bring this down to 1.7 or so that I usually have for. I'm just touching the map to see if there's any changes in the injection or not. But let me put the RPM. Yeah, it's definitely not running. I mean, you can see the injector. Look at the injectors. Definitely, both injector drivers are bad. You see, it's not even pulling it to ground. So it's pulling it just a little bit, and it's showing some milliseconds of injection, like 2.9, and I'm reading 3.7. So it is a command, but it's not being. You see, right now the red channel just went active, and the blue is almost there, but nothing. Because I can definitely hear it here. And that's why he was saying, I can now see what exactly your problem is, Alan, because I can see how it runs and then it dies and then it don't. I mean, especially if the map is not reading properly, then it will definitely have very low injection time, because you can see the values on the map have not changed. And I'm putting you can see it on the meter, 1.5. One of the injector drivers that came back to life, kind of. We can see a glitch here and there, here and there. The coil driver is good, but yeah, one of the drivers is definitely still bad. So I'm going to turn them off, and let's run it one more time. It looks like the red channel kind of like come back a little bit, but it's definitely not right. Sorry, my dog didn't want to stop barking. All right, look at now the red channel is again. Hopefully my microphone is not picking up much. But yeah, you can see how the red channel is now doing the same thing. So we definitely have problems on the computer, both injector drivers and then the manifold air pressure. All right, so let me see what I can do here. I am going to do some poking as far as to see what the damage might be internally. Hopefully it's not something created when he opened the computer, because these are very, very robust as long as you don't touch it. But internally, they have these jumpers that if you break those or you crack one of the drivers that is crystal made, garbage. There's nothing I can do for the computer. So let's see what we have here. Let me, again, do some poking, and I'll be right back, guys. Okay? Well, guys and Alan, very good news. Computer is fixed. Yeah, this is actually really nice to see. I have actually shown a lot of the testing that I do on these computers, and a lot of the repairs that I do, which I should have not done, because there's a lot of people trying to copy what I do, and I'm a very small business. So if I start sharing everything I do, pretty much I will disappear, especially if one big chart shows up, right? And I don't want that. But yeah, so now we can see what they should look, injectors and coils. So let me remove the green channel just for 1 second. So you can see now both the blue and the red channel being pulled all the way to ground. And I can definitely feel and hear the difference in here on my injector drivers on the back. Like on this view right here. Now these lights are nice and bright as the way it should be. And you can see that everything is working now perfectly. We have now the voltage still on the meter for you guys. Yeah, this view is probably the best, right? I'm going to put a couple of pits on Diacom. So let's get the voltage, and let's get I have to reselect the pits in here, because otherwise they show the same. I don't know. Oh no. Yeah, your view is showing that. So let me in my view is fine, but in your view is not. So let me just make sure that I can map sensor voltage and map sensor right here. Yeah, now we have the right readings in your screen. So 1.73 outside, obviously through the resistors and everything, it drops a little bit, but nothing abnormal. And we can see 12.5, which is usually 12.5, 12.6 is what I use at idle. And we can see that working perfectly. So everything is working really nice. I got 645 RPMs, which is pretty much in the dot of what that computer is seeing. So I'm going to increase now the idle. I can see right here the RPM. So I'm in 2000. I'm going to go around 4,000 RPMs. Make sure that everything stays in there. So we're around 4,000 pretty much. I'm going to increase the throttle to around 30%, 35% is usually what this computer will do. And let's try to go around 20% of inches of mercury, which I actually went too much. 20, perfect. We can see how the injection is staying, and so is the coil. So everything is now working fully corrected. Everything, all the situations of the map sensor. We got serial fault codes, which I forgot to show you. So let me go over to my view here, and I'm going to close that view, and I'm going to select now the fault codes, which should still show the same. I have to change it, and my view is correct, but in your view is showing the same thing as still. So let me what bit is that? Manifold absolute pressure. So this should be now total trouble codes. Perfect. So total trouble code is 0. And that is great. So I'm going to keep the computer running in here for a while. Make sure that everything is going good. But otherwise, Alan, your computer is good to go. All right. So I'll be contacting you shortly to collect payment and send this back your way. And then you can enjoy your boat back. I definitely, again, give you the suggestion, because I can correct the problems on the computer. You need to correct the problems in the boat. That I cannot. Definitely, you have problems on the injector harness, probably corrosion, as far as I can see, even in the computer, and something shorted out the manifold air pressure sensor signal. So check that sensor, check the harness, because if you plug the computer and you don't correct the problems, you might burn it again, and burnt is not covered under any warranty. Liquid damage or burn components, not covered under warranty. All right, guys. Thank you so much for visiting the channel. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Before I go, I noticed there was 2 fault codes in there. Knock sensor 1 and knock sensor 2 inactive. They're not connected. So just in case you were wondering what those fault codes were, because I'm like, oh, 2 fault codes, make sure there's no injectors, because I was showing the fault codes in there. Let me get you actually to my view on the screen. When I get this out of the way, I don't need nothing of that, so you can see, and even the meter no longer necessary. Yeah, I am looking, this is my view of my screen, so we're, at the end of the video, I'm like, oh, 2 full codes, what is that? But yeah, it's knock 1 and knock sensor 2, not connected, and that is actually good, because it's showing that the logic in the computer is good, and the reason is there is because I'm over 4,000 RPMs, right? So if I bring this down at idle, those faults will not be present, because these vehicles or these boats don't use the knock sensor until it's higher RPM. So I'm going to go down to around 650. I like 666. All right, let me bring the throttle down to around 7 to 10%. That's what I normally keep it. And then now the map to around 12.6, 12.7. Disregard those changes on voltages you see there, like very minimum is the voltage supply that I have here. When I use the auto simulator with the real good power supply, that goes away. So and I know that it has to actually go less, because I changed the harness, but it's always still like, like 1 point, you see 1.73, 1.76. So it's cent. It's not really major voltage or anything like that. So I can live with that, and it's not a problem. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.